Honda customer is a very unique character, because what they do is they buy a Honda City, then they buy a second Honda City to replace that old Honda City, and they buy a third one to replace the second one, and it sort of goes on and on. It's like the Toyota Camry or the Innova customer. It's basically exactly the same. The problem was the Honda City customer, when they want to upgrade to something else, they didn't have anything to upgrade to, because, well, everybody now wants an SUV, right? And the CRV was too expensive. The BRV wasn't an SUV in any sense. Pardon my pun, because this is about to happen. I've been challenged to do it. But the Honda City customer now has something to elevate itself to, because, God, that's cringy. But now they have something to elevate itself to, or themselves to, because behind me is the Honda Elevate. It's the car that everybody has been begging and praying for so many years, asking Honda to make. Please, Honda, give us an SUV that takes on the Hyundai Creta. And that is what this is. It's based on the Honda City, so it's familiar. Let's take a look at if that is the typical Honda buyer's car, or if that Honda buyer is going to finally move on to something else, albeit maybe a little reluctantly. Does this hold the candle? Before we start talking about the car, I want you to hit the comment section and tell me what you guys think about the way the car looks, because by now you've already seen pictures and videos and short format stuff that we put out on social media and the YouTube channel. This reminds me a bit of Audi, because Audi does this very conventional SUV design thing, right? Headlights up top, somebody's put on the indicator. I don't really know why, I hate this, but a big grille, stuff like that. It looks expensive from the front, from the rear, from the side we'll talk about in a bit, but it doesn't go with the flow of what everybody has been sort of pandering to recently. So it doesn't do the sort of split daytime running light on top and big headlight cluster on the bottom. It is conventional, and when it is conventional, it sort of ages better. Yes, sure, the competition might have a more flamboyant design language, but this will look a little more normal, a little more family oriented. That's exactly what Honda has always been, right? I mean, look at the Verna and the City in comparison. You put two next to each other, and the Verna obviously is shouty and flamboyant. The City is sort of subdued. This is subdued. This is typically the Honda City in an SUV form, which it actually is. While we have seen some pretty wild profiles from SUVs recently, this one is just so typically restrained. It does get some squared-off wheel arches, but it only gets up to a 17-inch wheel, and competition has already moved up to 18s. The two-tone does look nice, although in this color, it does remind me a little of the Seltos, especially the rear three-quarters. So that side is a little love it or hate it, and of course, as I said, it does remind us of other cars, but since we have the tail lights on this, LED tail lights at the back, obviously everything has LEDs now, doesn't it? But the indicators and the reverse light is still a bulb, and that just slightly reeks of cost cutting. I would have liked a full LED unit on this, but again, coming to the way it looks, let me know first of all what you think of the rear, because as I said, with everything I've showed you, I want you guys to tell me what your opinion is. But nonetheless, for me, I kind of dig this conventional look, because again, coming back to the same thing, that demographic that they're going for, the Honda customer, the typical Honda City upgrade to this customer, will sort of like this, will sort of like the simplicity. And yes, you're going to have aftermarket parts for this, which connects these lights to this light, and you're going to have a whole bunch of chrome coming in on the aftermarket like in every car. But for me, this plain and simple, again with a little silver bit on the bottom here, just sort of does its job. Okay, interiors are again as conventional as the exterior is, but there are some things that I really do want to talk about, okay? First and foremost, I love the way this leather is. It's quite supple to the touch and like quite soft. It's going to be something that a lot of people do appreciate. It reminds me of older cars, older Accords. Why? This stuff. It feels almost realistic. I know that's plastic. I'm not delusional to think that's actual wood. But in the older Accords, this sort of design language was very similar. And I think it looks kind of neat, especially because, again, we're talking about sort of conventional exteriors. This conventional interior sort of goes well too, right? Overall though, it's very typically Honda because it is what it's supposed to be. You get a sort of TFT screen, you get a digital instrument cluster that looks like a sort of normal non-digital screen, and that's because they've done this very simplistic sort of gauge cluster thing, which I really like. They've not complicated it, they've not made it adjustable to a million settings. It's simple, it's black, deep black. It's almost like a phone screen with some white graphics on it. And of course, you've got this big sort of infotainment screen, which has your usual stuff. This does have ADAS. This does have the camera on the passenger side mirror to sort of have lane warning or whatever, but it does miss out on things like 360-degree cameras, and of course, it doesn't get a panoramic sunroof, and it doesn't get electrically adjustable seats. But the one thing that it does not get, which I am really disappointed by, cool seats. I mean, these are leather seats, right? Cool leather seat would have been a much nicer option. And I've just noticed it gets conventional USB slots and not USB-C slots, which means your phone won't charge super fast. But overall, I think I like it because it is, as the packaging says, it's conventional, it's normal, it's not something that everybody, by which I mean a super young audience, might like, but your dad might like it, your uncle will definitely like it, your mum will like it, and all your older cousins who have their sort of heads in the right order will like it. And I think, I might be wrong or might be right, we don't know till we actually drive it, but I think this thing is going to drive really well. I just feel it. It's something that I just know. Okay, I'm going to hop in the back. Okay, at the risk of this turning into some really boring, drab consumer advice episode, I'm going to take a seat in the back. Ooh, okay. First impressions, okay? Absolute first impressions. This feels really comfortable. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of the plushiness and soft leather that the old Accords used to have, because this leather seat, first of all, it looks nice because it's sort of brown, chocolatey. It's not black, it's not beige. I do like a black interior, but it's not beige, it's not boring, it's not what typically Hondas would be. But first impression, then straight off the bat, and that was not some fake expression. This feels really comfortable, like properly comfortable. Okay, let me give you a quick conclusion on this car. I'll be really quick because I know this video has already gone on for a while and I know you don't want to see me rant, but I do really need to rant about one last thing, okay? Bear with me. I want to talk about the powertrains, well, below the hood of this car. Now, we know it's coming with the 1.5 litre naturally aspirated engine, 121 horsepower. We all have driven and enjoyed that engine, or the evolution of that engine, or the older version of that engine for years and years. It's great. But the fact that Honda hasn't really announced or even mentioned the hybrid anywhere today, that's a bit of a sore point for me, because people are buying the hybrid, right? Well, the Grand Vitara is selling the hybrid version. The Toyota Hyryder has a hybrid that's selling. Honda does not have a turbocharged petrol engine option. Honda does not have the diesel. The diesel's gone. The diesel's dead for Honda. So it's just this one engine option. Yes, it comes with the manual and the CVT automatic, but is that enough? Should Honda have at least spoken mildly, briefly about the hybrid powertrain? I think they should have. Well, rant over. Let's talk about the car in a totality, right? I've said it across the video. I'm going to say it again. This is conventional motoring. It's stress-free motoring from point A to point B. And yes, Honda has had innovations in the past. I mean, we all like to kick VTEC in. This isn't an innovation. I'm struggling to think of things that this has that everything else doesn't already have. Yes, it has ADAS. Yes, it has a very good sort of powertrain on board, but everything else in that segment has a good powertrain. The Astra has ADAS. It doesn't have one thing that really sets it apart. And that's not exactly a great thing. But on the flip side of that argument, there are people who want that conventional car. There are people who want stress-free point A to point B motoring, because you always need to have that one car in your life. And this is that one car. If I also have something that is absolutely stress-free, I might consider one of these. I think, as I said before, I think this might be nice to drive. We'll drive it soon. Till then, Honda Elevate. Stage right.